All right, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Let's bump up the audio this time. I think people were saying it was a bit soft last time. Bose, hello, hello. All right, let me know you can hear me and see me okay. Hello, Lee. How's it going? Going good? Cool. All right. While everyone's letting me know they can see me and hear me okay, I will go out to GitHub and we will get things prepped. So let's make this full screen. Git pull origin master, loud and clear, good. All right, we got the latest. Let's close the notes from last time and all this other stuff. And let's bring up PHP Stormsville. Sound and vision, all good. Cool. All right, blueprint is what we want. Let's close all this other stuff. Okay. Cool. All right, we are going to pick up where we left off last time. I think I made a separate issue for it. Yes, here, generated tests for update is risky. Are risky, is risky, whatever. Cool. So, what did I do with my drink? There it is. Sorry, I need to pop the little water here, or buble. There's some product advertisement for him. Okay, cool. All right, so what are we doing here? We are, yes, okay, so last time in the process of fixing the original bug where it wasn't generating all of the kind of the right data, where we talked about last time the certificate, it was kind of just taking the certificate instead of the shorthand, and it didn't really set up all this data or query it out right. But in the process of reviewing that, we saw where update specifically wasn't really generating the best of code. It could be done better. So that's kind of this final bug here. I just want to take a minute and look at it. And then at that point, I feel like all open bugs are gone. Of course, there'll always be more bugs. It's just how it is in the software world. And again, this is a pretty ambitious project that generates lots of different code on lots of different types of components with lots of different use cases developers have. It's approaching 20,000 downloads, which is nice. Stars have slowed down for sure, but download count is kind of the package's download count is kind of what I'm after these days. So when that hits 100,000 or something, I might consider a 2.0 or some ancillary components around it. So anyway, neither here nor there. Let's get into this bug. So I want to open up one of the certificate. Let's just open one of these like Pascal case examples. Whoop, not that. The controllers, or where is it? It's the test. Where are our tests? Here we go. Here's a test. Yeah, okay, so here's update, and update uses form request. That one's totally fine. And then update behaves as expected. A little bit soft, but we're actually fixing this correctly now, which is nice. But here's the issue. Nothing else gets generated after this. And I really feel like update should do some more stuff. Like we do see that delete at least, or destroy at least deletes the record. It makes sure it's deleted, stuff like that. So what I would like to see in the case of this is even going back to that like Twitter example that we saw, we would really want to like test that certificate, the original certificate, got cleaned up. So I'd like to see something, I keep looking down at the keyboard. So I'd like to see something like refresh here, and then, something very simple like assert equals on, just a lot of this stuff. So name is the expected, and then we'd do like certificate, name, and just all sorts of things like that, that basically match this stuff. So here would be a tricky one. You would actually say certificate ID is the certificate ID there. I think I spelled that right. Hey, Adrian. Airport. Cool. Where are you going or coming from or whatever? Traveling right now. That's bold behavior. Cool. So yeah, so this would be reference, and document, and expiry date. Expiry date. Sorry, I've not been coding that much this week. The fingers are off on the... Well, I've been coding on my laptop, so it's just there's a slight, millimeter difference between my full keyboard and the MacBook Pro keyboard. Anyway, okay, so I would expect something like this, and it'd be nice actually too if there was something like what's the default behavior of something like... Let's look at the controller and kind of see what the default behavior of update is. I think it's to redirect, right? Oh, this returns a resource. That's going to be hard to... Not hard, but... Okay, we're probably going to save that for another day, to be honest. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but it would be nice if there was, some kind of response assertion here. And again, if we have time, I'll get after that. But I think this is really what I'm after. We're kind of already generating that code, as we saw before, in an eloquent kind of style. But yeah, it'd be nice if we could do this here for update. And this is super simple. We don't have to do all the eloquent query. We just refresh, and then we're able to kind of dump those out. And these are all pretty simple with assert equals. I'm not a huge fan of assert equals, but I do worry that assert same with the strict type checking could be an issue depending on, what kind of cast you have and so forth like that. So, okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm super dark today too. My office is like falling apart. My light bulb went out in my little, mood light thing, so I need to order one of those. And then my headset went out the other week, which is why I'm using this. So it's all sorts of... I need an office refresh. So cool. Okay, I'm seeing some stuff in the chat. Let's catch up here. So that would become certificate data name. Certificate data name. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So, certificate data name. Yeah, I don't know what you mean, Yoast. So yeah, if you can explain a little more, let me know. But I'm gonna keep hacking away. So let's bring up. So right now this test will fail. And again, we kind of just hacked at it, so this might not be the final version, but at least we're working against some kind of error. And again, that might not be the final code, but okay, cool. So yeah, we'll do this. Used all the wood for family Otwell, so your home is fine. Yes. No, it's all good. It's more like my electronics are falling apart. I've been doing too much natural woodworking. My tech chops are suffering. Cool. Okay, so yeah, of course, this is not going to be what we expect. So yeah, we're working against a failure here. That's fine. Let's just hone this in so we don't have to do all those tests again. There we go. That's a lot faster feedback loop. Okay, let's start hacking. Let's go into the test generator, and let's just kind of see what eloquent does, because that's ultimately what's happening. Let's bring this back real quick. This controller, this update, it knows to do update, even though that's a bit thin. Again, that's an enhancement that could happen. it's smart enough to know to generate an update statement. So we already kind of have that trigger. So where is that code is the question. So we got a redirect statement. That's fine. What else do we have? It's got to be an eloquent statement. Here it is, eloquent statement. If the operation is save, here's where we add all the stuff for save. So my guess is we just don't have anything. If there's request data, so if the operation's save and there's request data, then dump it out. Else, do a generic assert. So it's interesting that we're not even getting the assert database has generically. We got a query statement. And then it calls. I'm just trying to understand. This is like, the test generator is super dense. It really needs some love in the future. This is like hundreds of lines of stuff. I'm thinking I'm probably going to break the statement generation out. The problem with that is that the reason I think this is very like waterfall procedural is because, you know, it just tracks so many different parts of the code. Again, you could definitely break this up, but I think originally it was kind of easier to leave together because a lot of the variables that these other statements set, they kind of get shared. I wouldn't go so far as to say globally, but definitely within the scope of this method, this generate method. So it's pretty huge. Okay, what I'm guessing is either the operation is update, so it's never getting in here, and then we're not catching that in anything here. So let's just kind of prove that. Let's do a dump on statement operation. And my guess is one of these says update. Yes, it does. Update. What's interesting is it has update delete and then an exception and then save. It's hard to tell. Oh well, there's several of those. Okay, so we do know that we're getting into update. That's kind of what we first wanted to prove. Let's not get ahead of ourselves today. So let's do this, and we'll say statement operation is equal to update. And now, whoops, update. And now we should be able to see some more stuff inside here. So let me think, what could we dump? What could we dump out in here? Let's just dump out the statement for now. Let's see what happens. Dump statement. Let's just see what statement is inside here. There should only be a few of these. Okay, so update, certificate, category. Okay, cool. So good. This has a lot of different tests. And again, not all of them are failing because, you know, we're using that data provider. So these are kind of rapidly running through, but we do get better alignment here with that dump out and then the exception. Copy and pasted all that. That's not good. Hello, clear capitals. Okay. So we are on the right track. This is where we would want to add some stuff. So the question here is, let's not dump anymore and let's just kind of copy just a real quick assertion here to demonstrate that we would want to do something like %s and refresh. Let's just kind of see if we're on the right track here. Okay. So where is update? I think I scrolled too far. There we go. Category refresh. Okay, cool. Good. Okay, so we're in the right track here. So this took the original name, the variable name, and it's going to refresh it. So now we need to add some additional quote unquote generic assertions to this. So what do we got in the chat? But that is more in the case of resource collections. So for the test suite, updated behavior, this is moot. Okay, yeah. I didn't follow your original thing, but I'm going to assume that it's moot is the point there. Okay, cool. So the sanity checks are kind of interesting. Let's do this. Let's throw this under sanity. Although it's not really sanity. It's part of refreshing, but I want it to happen higher up, and I think the sanity checks kind of happen like right after stuff. So let's leave that alone, and let's put the rest in generic. So now what we would want to do is we would want to say what we did up here, which is this, if request data. So if there is request data, then we basically want to loop over that request data and make all of those simple assertions that we were doing. Well, not super simple, but let's see how far we get. Okay, so it seems like there's an indentation level that matters here, but that's because we're chaining where clauses, so I don't think we'll need that anymore. Plural, what are we using plural for? Oh, we query all of them, so we don't need that either. What's this? This is this, and then the capital model name. We really shouldn't need any of that either. So we just, if there's request data, we really just want to loop over and add a bunch of generic assertions for each of them. So let's get rid of all that and close that so we don't have invalid code. And what happens inside of here? Inside of here, this is this assert equals, and then we would need the variable name or our local variable name from request data, which I'm gonna assume that's key. And then we would have our local variable name, which we have up here, and then an arrow to some other thing, which is its key, I think. What's datum? Datum is probably what we want here. So let's just see how this looks. So we've got that. And why aren't we putting a semicolon? Oh, we weren't because we were chaining something. Okay, so we do need the semicolon here. So this will be our assertion. And then what we want here, I believe, is going to be datum, because that's part of the request data, the name of the variable of the request data, I think. It might be key. I don't know. We're going to find out. This is definitely variable. And this we're going to say is key. And those might be backwards, but let's see how we do. Okay, sweet. So I've got a double dollar sign there, which is not ideal. But otherwise, I think that's legit. So datum has the dollar sign built into it, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Okay, so we've got name, image, active. Cool, cool, cool. So those are going to be wrong, which makes sense. Let's scroll up to the one we made ourselves, though. Okay, so actually, hey, this is pretty decent. Check this out. It's got I don't know. Oh, I think, did we leave assert deleted in there somehow? Yes, we did. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's run this one more time. Let me scroll up to the one we are focusing on because it's kind of weird right now. Okay, so we do have assert equals. So name is name, certificate type ID is good. In fact, we've noticed a bug in our setup. This shouldn't just be ID, it's certificate type ID. That's good. So reference, document, document. This is good. Minus the line breaks and the indentation. This is yeah, this is pretty good. So we don't need that anymore. And what's interesting to me is those. Why aren't those getting indented? Oh, they are getting indented properly. They're just the line breaks screwing it up. Look at that. Boom. That was a lot easier than I thought. Okay. So let's go clean up that test wherever it is. Cool. So this was just a little bit shorthanded. This is certificate type ID. So we had 3 errors. So let's see if we're down to 2. No, we are not down to 2. All right, let's focus just this Pascal case example test so we can really get it clean. Let's find Pascal case example test in our test generator test. Let's focus just this. So let's take that and say filter equals boom. There we go. Okay, let's see what's wrong here, because this should be good. Oh, I think it's the other test now that's an issue. It's the certificate type one doesn't have the refreshing going on. Okay, cool. So let's fix that as well. So we fixed this one, but we have not fixed this one yet. So let's go write what we expect here to clean up the test. And just to that point, sorry, my nose itches. Just to that point, like notice when we're working on, I'm only trying to change one bit of code at a time, and I'm using the running of the tests to make that switch, to signal that switch. So for a minute, we were updating the implementation, and I ran the tests to kind of continue to tweak the implementation. And once I felt like that particular test that we wrote, even though we were still seeing errors, did pass the very specific one, now I'm switching back to adjusting the test, okay? Or the test that I run. So again, very binary. You really want to be very good about that. I see a lot of people new to testing, they'll just change everything at one time, and it really you can really end up in a really bad place. Even a seasoned developer, it can be hard to kind of get back on the right track. Okay, so update behaves as expected. This is what's left. So we want to do what here? We would say certificate type refresh, and then we would say this assert equals, the name is certificate type name. That's what we would expect. And there we are. Beautiful. Okay, let's drop the filter and then see what's left, which is probably just some of the original test cases that we didn't even mess with. Yeah, exactly. So I feel pretty good about these now. So I'm willing to copy the expected output in this case, because we kind of started with the hardest one, meaning the one that had the relationship factories. So, whoops. So let's go back to this. And then what was that called? Let's just find update behaves as expected. Update behaves, there it is. Okay, so we did the certificate type stuff, but the API shorthands and models with custom namespaces doesn't seem to be right. So this is category. Let's start here. We're going to drop in what we have. Should get down to 1 exception. Yes, we do. And then the same exact one we had before. As we talked about last time, this is actually 2 tests that serve the same purpose. That's the API shorthand validation as well. And this is where we come full circle now. This is where we started last week to complete the bug for generating the rest of the code. And we should be green. Yes, we are. Cool. What do we have here? Oh yeah, I forgot Frake was doing that today. We'd kind of announced roughly at the same time. Yeah, what are they're launching some new stuff, like a book and a course, right? Anyway, yeah, they're pumping out a lot of stuff over there. Cool. Okay, so what are we? Gosh, look at that. 1,700 assertions in this thing. Like I said, it's a very large project. Okay, I kind of think this is good. It's beyond the scope of kind of what is listed here, but considering that excuse me, considering that worked out so quickly, maybe we can go ahead and make use of some response assertions as well. So, Media Library Pro, a bunch of components. Yeah, they're cranking it. Okay. I'm just thinking out loud here. Let's do update. I just want to see. Okay. It'd be good to know. I think there's really no reason we shouldn't be able to generate some kind of response assertions in these cases. Like, it's interesting to me. Excuse me, sorry. It's interesting to me that crazy eloquent doesn't. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it does. We'll have to see if we're testing that. This one's a little bit harder. This certificate this certificate resource. It would be cool to know though. That might be bigger than we can chew. Yeah. I do feel like the tag, it'd be cool if the resource stuff at least, did a 200 and asserted it was JSON or something for the API responses. Like, at least it would be a good start, I feel like. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and merge what I have, and then we'll come back to this. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and merge what I have, because it's not really a bug. It's just an optimization. I forgot to check out a branch. Git checkout fix. What is this? 283. Oh, -B kids. -bizzle sticks. There we go. All right, git add -p. Okay, so we just added a real simple else if. We threw in a sanity check to refresh it. Really, honestly, we should probably just wrap this whole thing in if data. I wouldn't want like a BS refresh just floating out there. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's fine. Yeah, you never know if some other things use it, so let's leave it. And then we just updated all of our tests. Look at that. Straightforward. Cool. So git commit -m, generate assertions for eloquent update statements. Cool. Is that too long? Git commit -amend. No, we are right in it, kids. All right, git push origin head. Git open that sucker. Let's get this merged. All right, this is pretty easy. Fixes number 280. Hello, 283. Cool. That's good enough for me. Uh-oh. Did I have a failure? Oh, okay, it fixed it. Never mind. What did I miss? Oh, missed a space there. What's that about? Okay, so once that runs, we'll be good. I'm gonna do a git checkout master, and let's just kind of go browse around while we're waiting for that to finish getting tested. So there's probably like a resource. See, there's no resource statement in here, and I think there's a resource statement that was added before. Yes, there was. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, let's definitely add something for this, and then we'll call it quits for the day. And moving forward, if there's no bugs that are introduced next week, we'll do some refactoring of these things that I've mentioned along the way. So we should at least generate, we know if there's a resource, a couple things, right? We know that it's probably a 200 response. We're going to know if it's a collection or paginated in any way, and we're going to have the reference to the data that you should be getting back. So at the very, very least, we could just kind of generically output a real simple like assert 200 and assert the response was JSON or something like that. I mean, it's not awesome. Again, while this is testing, let's go look at the Laravel docs and see if there's some cooler JSON assertions we can do. Available assertions. So we've got assert JSON. We don't really know the format of it. It'd be cool if we could know the format. We've got assert OK. We know we could do that. Yeah. I'm tempted to do like an assert JSON structure and like leave it alone. The assert count would be cool too. Assert that the JSON has an array with the expected number of items. Yeah, that's cool. That would be cool. Yeah, structure is another one. Assert that the response contains the given JSON data. Yeah, see, we don't even have that. Is there like an assert is JSON? Like you got JSON data back? Laravel assert JSON response. Testing APIs. What do we have here? Oh, that's testing. Yeah, I'm just trying to like, it's not really fragment. Like, don't you have to pass something to fragment, I think? Let's find out. Yeah, see, I don't know what's going to be in it, to be honest. I kind of just want to like blindly assert that like the content returned was JSON, like is JSON. Like assert is JSON. I'm kind of surprised there's not one. There has to be. Like assert the content type returned was valid JSON. That's kind of surprising that there's not some kind of like, no, there's not. That's kind of interesting to me. There's got to be something. Come on. Come on. Testing JSON response. Take data from fake. Yeah, again, it's a resource response, so we don't know what it is. All right. Well, we'll dig around in core a few minutes from now. Let's let this finish so we can merge it and get the latest. But yeah, we're definitely gonna generate something when you use a resource response, because I think that's probably the missing link on some of those tests. Just to tighten them up just a bit. So again, let's go back to the test generator. Let's go look at those. Yeah, I know you can do the assert header. It's just ugly. I'm surprised there's not a shorthand. I think I might. I'm very tempted to PR that. It's kind of funny, actually. Someone emailed me the other day about the other, like the Laravel test assertions package that I have, and they wanted to add some assertions around JSON resources. So I think those I'll probably add here, but I feel like an is JSON, there's got to be something in there. And in fact, let's just, while we're waiting, let's go to Confident Laravel and just dig around core for a second, because let's just look at this add-on controller test. Of course, it's not good enough. Test.php. Let's try this. Here we go. I want to get the response. Let me go there. Why can't you go, PHP Storm? There you go. Yeah, let's go dig around core for a sec, because I bet you the assert JSON stuff in here does some stuff. So here we go. We got a decoded response. Public function JSON. Yeah, it'd be really simple, in my opinion, to add like It'd be really simple. I just don't know what to call it is really more of what I'm after. Like, you're really using this. You kind of don't care about the key. You're just using this decoded response JSON and kind of, yeah, that's it. You're not even doing like a data get. You don't even care. You just kind of call this method. Yeah. So I mean, it's a super shorthand. You'd really just be like something like assert JSON response. That's a bit redundant, but you basically just do that. And then you do, whoops, let's say function. And then you basically just do this decode JSON response. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of all you do. You really just wrap this. Because this is going to do what you want it to do. It's either going to give you back something, well, that's not entirely fair. It's going to trigger the failure, but then you'd have to say something like, well, no, you don't have to say anything. You just return, yeah, you just return this. It's either going to fail or pass, so you just return this. Yeah, so that's all it would look like. It would just decode the response, no key because it doesn't matter. It would attempt to decode it so long as it's not null or there's no bit. It doesn't throw an exception, and that's it. So, yeah. Otherwise, it kind of gives you the data back, but we're not returning it. So it's a bit heavy-handed, but I just don't like the name of that is all. So, I don't, because it would be written as like response arrow assert JSON response, which is like completely redundant. And assert JSON is already taken. So like, and you don't want to do anything like contains JSON. So again, I don't know what to call it, which might be one of the reasons it doesn't exist. But like response assert is JSON. I don't know. So you could do something like that, and then you could even go like assert header type as well, or something like that. So you could get pretty fancy. Assert is JSON. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So anyways, might be something I try to throw in there. We'll see. I know sometimes, sometimes that stuff's really dense and Taylor doesn't like to add like a bunch of those. He's like, oh, just make a macro. But it's kind of interesting, in my opinion, that the generic version of that doesn't exist. Let's just look, you know what? Sorry. Let's look at one more thing, just real quick. Let's go back to where I was. Let's go back here. Where is the assert JSON? It's kind of silly, but part of me wonders if you could just pass in an empty array here and it roughly does the same thing, because you can see that this is doing exactly what we were going to do. So yeah, I don't know. We can toy around with it. All right, let's get this response statement, or let's get our original work merged. Come on, you got to be done by now. How are you not done by now? Whatever, it works. I think that thing got stuck. Okay, let's get our latest work. Whoops, git pull. There we go, and let's add this bit in here. So let's go back. And what I would like to see here is like a response, assert. Let's assert okay, I guess. And then also, what do we want to start with? If we know you're returning a resource, does Laravel say anything about that? API resources. Does this automatically do /JSON? No, it doesn't say anything about that. Content, nope. It doesn't say anything about the content type. So I'm not inclined to do like a assert content type or something here, or assert header. It's kind of lame just to put that, though. Crap. Sorry, I'm thinking here. I want to put something. So I either want to put like assert JSON structure and then like leave that alone. It's kind of ugly, but at least it's hinting at what it should be doing, and then in the future, you know, probably still leave this, but then expand on it with like assert, you know, assert JSON response or whatever that new method if it got merged. But even then, it would only be Laravel 7 or 8, and we're still supporting 6. So, you know, let's start with this. Let's just start with this. It's not awesome, but let's start with that. Okay, so when we build the test, we loop over all the different assertion types. I think they're in alphabetical order, if I remember. So let's add a resource statement here. Yeah, redirect. Okay, cool. So let's do an else if statement instance of resource statement and get that going. And then I think we have response. Yeah, response assertions. Cool. So let's just add some response assertions. That's going to be pretty simple. It's just going to be response, arrow, assert, okay, and assert JSON structure with an empty array. Again, not awesome, but step in the right direction. Vendor bin PHP unit, and there they are. Yeah, that refresh sanity check is a bit high up, but that's okay. We talked about that last time. You know, you never know what you might want to use category for, so it's good that that sanity check's a bit higher. So we'll leave that alone for now, and let's go back. Yeah, let's go back to fixing our tests, right? Because it's basically what's left. All right. Yeah, we're winding down here. That should be 2 errors. No, still 3. Oh, that has 2 of them, doesn't it? What's wrong with this? Oh, are they all? They're all going to have it now. Yeah. Show's going to have it. Okay, that's actually going to output a lot of different spots, which, again, isn't bad, because by PHP Storm we can see that those weren't even being used, which is kind of lame. So yeah, that's good. And even index should have something, right? So maybe down to 2 now. No, still 3. Okay, so let's slow down and not guess anymore. Okay, so show has it. And then, oh, this has it below that. That's the problem. The rest were okay. So I guess this is considered a sanity check, which is, again, probably fine. So we're still off. What's wrong with you? Assert okay, assert deleted. We got show. We got that added. This should be okay. Unless I'm missing like a line break or something, this should be fine. Yeah. Huh. You know, on index, we could get fancy and say like assert JSON count is 3, but that's okay. I'm not sure what's wrong with this one. Let's go add this to the rest of our known tests here. So we're definitely going to have this API shorthand. So let's kind of work through these. So index is going to have it. Store is going to have it. Show's going to have it. Update's going to have it. Let's see if this is any better. Okay, so we're down to 2 now. Let's keep going. What was the other one? The certificate type is going to have some stuff as well. So let's drop that. Drop that. Should that really be assert created? Maybe. Let's just get these passing and then we'll kind of go back and see what's going on here. So what is this? Is this a different file? Yeah, that's a different file. So maybe that other one was passing all along, which was it's kind of weird. Where's that category type controller? Is this it? No. We did a find earlier that has all the updates in it. Let's go check this out. Or no, what was it? It was like, yeah, here we go. Models with namespaces, I think is what it is. Yes, categories, here we go. All right, let's drop that in. Drop that down. Show needs it. And refresh is fine where it is, and that should be it. Okay, so we should back to green now, and we are. Okay, so the last thing is the created. That's a good question. Let's see what we're doing. We don't actually have that exact file. We have, should be in our application somewhere. Where is this? Models with custom namespace. I don't want the test version of it. Where's just the actual... Do we even generate the actual controller? Doesn't look like we do. That's strange. Yeah, we don't actually generate the controller. I don't think... Let's go to the controller Lexer real fast. I don't think that we specify a 204 created. That would be cool. But yeah, we just redirect. There's no 204. There's just a redirect. So API store. Yeah, see, it's just a resource response, but I agree. It would be cool if it knew for store to do a 204. Does it? Or 201, sorry, yeah. 204, I was thinking no content. Where is the resource statement? Does it know? Code. Is there a status in here? There's no status that gets generated, but yeah, I would be willing to open an enhancement for that to clean it up. That would be cool. I don't know, unless resource is smart enough to do that on its own right here. I don't think Blueprint, I don't ever remember coding that into Blueprint. So check it out and open an issue for it, either a bug or a feature request. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, yeah, well anyways, that's pretty much it. We kind of got off the rails there at the end. That's okay, because we didn't really have a script or an issue to work off of, but I think this is a good start, again, just to tighten up those tests. So it's really simple here. I might ping Taylor or just open up that PR and see about doing some kind of assert JSON content or something. I don't really know. We'll kind of see what the name of that should be. But yeah, this is all just updating all those test cases, which again is kind of monotonous, but let's just do a git commit -m, or well, crap, I better be a good kid here. Generate resource assertions. Git commit -m, generate assertions for resource statements. Let's just say basic assertions. Or simple. Git push origin head. All right, I'll get this merged. Yeah, thanks everybody for sticking around. And yeah, hopefully I'll have some new lighting next time. But yeah, in the absence of any bugs, next week we will work on refactoring, something I've wanted to do for a while. Definitely 2 items, so I'll make sure to have those outlined and prepped for next week. So again, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go check out the announcements from Frake and team now, and I will see you all next time.